Since I was a little girl, I have always loved being in the kitchen. I remember helping my mom roast pumpkins and making Big Daddy biscuits, as we like to call them. I have so many kitchen memories, but my favorite has to do with spinach dip. The other day, I was making the Epicure spinach dip recipe. As I was making it, I was flooded with memories of my mom's spinach dip. I grew up in Croatia, and spinach dip was new to the people there. I remember helping my mom make it in our kitchen and licking the spoon a few too many times. Mom would then bring it to church, and the people loved it. I couldn't make a video about my mom's spinach dip without bragging on her just a little bit. My mom has always been there for me. If I needed her or had a question, she was always there to answer it. I am so grateful to have my mom, even if it is across the world. This is one of the reasons I love Epicure, because cooking brings back memories. So Epicure brings back memories. To start off this recipe, you're going to drain your spinach. Now I am making a half recipe. It's about 5 ounces of spinach there. So let's talk about the seasoning just a little bit. It has notes of onion, red bell pepper, carrot, spinach, herbs, garlic, black pepper, and a few other ingredients in there for flavor. This container has 0 milligrams of sodium, which I think is super cool, and you have 82 servings per container. Now that's not 82 recipes, but each serving makes about, I'd say each recipe makes about 4 servings. So we're going to start off with half a cup of sour cream and half a cup of mayonnaise. Now I use the same measuring cup just to save me on those dirty dishes. Once you get those in, you're also going to add your seasoning. So for this recipe, it calls for 3 tablespoons of dip mix, but since I'm halving it, I did about 1.5 or a little over that for the seasoning. Give it a good mix, and you'll know it's done when it starts smelling like $1,000,000 and when it is nice and thick. A good tip to get it nice and thick is to make sure that your sour cream you mix up before you add it. The reason for that is because as sour cream sits in its container, you get a little bit of residual moisture on top, and it can mess up the consistency. So now we're going to drain our spinach. I used a paper towel. You can use a dish towel, or you can use some cheesecloth to drain it, but I find that this works really well, and having it set while I'm mixing everything helps to just let it drip. I'm going to show you here that it should be like that. No drips, nothing. It should be nice and dry. A lot of water comes off of it too, so make sure you give it a good wringing out. This is a great job for the kiddos. As I add it to my mix, I like to break it up with my fingers just a little bit to make sure that it's nice and incorporated and we don't get a whole bunch of big chunks of spinach throughout our dip. Not that we don't love them, but... The next step that we have to do, once it's nice and mixed up, is to add it to our dishes. Now you can add this to 1 dish, but I decided for this recipe to do it in 2 ramekins. The goal behind this was to portion control for myself, but I ended up eating both of them in one day within 30 minutes from each other, and that's because I have no self-control and I'm not, please don't judge me. So now I'm gonna add it. I try to make it nice and even on top and smooth it out so that as it bakes, it gets nice and I guess evenly baked is the best way to say it. Once you do this, we're going to add some cheese, and I'm using a low moisture mozzarella cheese. This is just going to be really good, and we're going to broil the top so it's going to get nice and crispy on top. You can never add too much cheese, so please ham out on it. Do as much as you want. Okay, so now we're going to put it in the oven. I normally would suggest wearing oven mitts here. I'm a risk taker, so I put it in there for about 10 minutes at 350. And then we broil it for about 3 minutes to get a really crispy top. Now I will say I ended up broiling it for a little over 3 minutes and it got a little too done, but it still was delicious. Also, really cool fact nobody asked for, that apron that I'm wearing in the video, my mom made me for my wedding. So this video is all about my mom. There you have it. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. If you use it or try it out, go ahead and tag me in it. I'd love to see it. And check a link for the spinach dip. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.